So I've got 6 of these metal bins here, 3 sides enclosed, 1 side open, tops open. What are we going to do with them? I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but come along and find out. Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome back to Sunshine Acres. I'm Jason here. Took a couple days off of work, so I'm getting some things done around the house and up here in the wood yard. And today I wanted to do an experiment. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I purchased 6 of these metal containers that are cubes, basically open on 2 sides. And the intent with this is to use this to dry firewood in. My biggest concern is it going to get enough airflow in and around it to where it becomes dry enough in season so you can burn it properly. And another thing we want to do today is verify what kind of quantity of wood that we're getting in there. So if you've watched ours or other folks' firewood videos or just done research on your own, you know a full cord of firewood is 4 feet tall, 4 feet wide, 8 feet long. And typically this is comprised of 3 rows of firewood cut in 16-inch sections. So what you would typically get a truckload or delivery of wood at your house is typically a face cord or a third of that. So that's 16-inch long firewood, 4 feet tall, 8 feet long. So what that ends up being is 32 square feet of firewood. So one of the first things we want to verify is how much volume of wood are we getting in each one of these bins. So we know it's smaller than a face cord, but how much smaller is it? Like we said, a face cord is going to equal 32 square feet of 16-inch firewood. So what do we have in here? We know we're going to be able to stack 2 runs in here, so we'll double this amount. We're at 3'6" across the front, and just under 3 foot tall. So that's going to equal 10.5 square feet per run. So we get 2 runs in there. That's going to be equal 21 square feet of firewood. Compare that to 32 feet, which is in a true face cord, and it is right on the button, 66% or 2/3 of a face cord. So it's slightly smaller, but that's still a nice chunk of wood. We do plan on selling this and delivering it to people, so we want to be able to be accurate and tell them what they're getting. So you're getting 2/3 of a truckload per se. So the other thing we've done in here, and I'll bring you in close and show you what I've done in the bottom. So you can see here I've done basically makeshift pallets and nothing fancy. This isn't treated wood or anything. This stayed out in the rain last night. Wanted to keep it slightly smaller than the dimensions. Again, we're trying to get as much airflow in these things as possible. So we're getting that up off the ground. And I think I'll be able to show you in here. When we run 2 rows of firewood, I want to stay off the back side and leave that gap if I can. Get probably 3-4 inches, hopefully, of airflow to help dry these guys out. So that's it. You saw the makeshift pallets in there. Once we get them filled, the beauty of these is that we can move them with the skid steer. So we'll be able to come straight off the splitter, load these guys up, put them in the woods, cover them with a pallet, and let them sit for a year. So what we're cutting now, it is the beginning of September 2023, and this is the first bit of wood that we're cutting for next year. So this will be fall of 2024 before hopefully it's ready, if it gets enough airflow and dries. So we'll see. I've got 2 of these bins ready. We've got a total of 6. I'm gonna try to fill 2 of them today and see how that goes. The other thing we've got is, I don't even want to show you in too much detail, but the firewood pile here, this is not how I would like to keep it. But between getting the sawmill up and running and getting some things straightened out in the wood yard, I've just kind of got a pile of things on here. So it's a good excuse to get in this pile and get things out of here and cleaned up. But come along, we're gonna get after it. Like I said, we're gonna try to fill 2 of these metal bins with firewood today and go from there and see how it looks. Come along. All right, so we got the first couple rounds cut. You can see 2 runs of firewood. Fits nicely in there. We are able to leave about 3-inch gap behind there. And there's room on the front as well. So far so good as far as stacking 2 runs in there. I think it looks good. All right, so that's it. First basket is full. That took about 2 hours, but I've got a bunch of rounds already cut, and with the prep we did before we got started, I think the other one will go a lot quicker. So I'm thinking an hour and a half is reality per bin, so that's not too bad. So at this point it's full and we're ready to pick this thing up with a skid steer. I think I'm going to use pallets and just put a pallet on top of this covered with felt paper just to keep rain off it. That'll still allow good airflow in and around it. I hope these guys will dry. There's a lot of red oak in here, and we'll find out. This load will definitely put it to the test. But again, this is basically 2/3 of a face cord. So, and I'm gonna call this a baby face. So if you like a baby face, it's 2/3 the size of a truckload, smaller load, but for a lot of homeowners with a small fire pit or something, this is probably going to be where they want to be at. If you do notice, as they split these, I split fairly small, and some of these I would even, depend on the customer, like a lot of people I think we're going to sell to, or it's kind of the homeowner of the fire pit in the backyard, and you don't want to get down to like kindling size, but definitely on the smaller end. It's a lot easier to handle and helps dry out a little quicker too. So I did put a dry shirt on for this part for your sake. It is still super hot out. It's the best day we've had all week, but we're still 80s close to 90 today, but it's about time for temperature to start going down. I guess that's a reason most people do wait until fall to cut their firewood, but this is an opportunity for us to get a jump start on it. So I'm gonna take a quick lunch break and come back. We're gonna move this guy, put a pallet on it, fill the other one up, and go from there. Come on. So here's the little makeshift roof assemblies for these bins, which is essentially just a pallet and felt paper on top of it. I think it'll get the job done. Got to look at the time. So yeah, this is it. 2 baby face cords of wood in the metal bins. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is this totally crazy? I mean, I think this front row will dry just fine. I don't know about the back. I mean, we raised them up on pallets, tried to get airflow. I tried to keep them off of the back wall when stacking. I found that became pretty difficult because it's just your tendency to want to stack things tight and push it to the back. And I felt myself doing that multiple times. So I don't know if I got a whole lot of airflow in the back, but we'll see. Maybe it'll help if I would jack these pallets up. I don't know. I'm not convinced that this is a great idea, but I got a decent deal on these bins. So figured we'd give it a try, and we'll go from there. So now we're gonna start the drying process, let them sit here for a year. We've got 4 more of these bins, so I will fill those up. A couple things. We'll definitely lower the pallets. I wanna make sure we get at least 3 foot. So when we stack it in here, so we know when we deliver this to a customer, hey, we're giving you exactly, 2/3 of load, versus these guys. I think I'm gonna have to add like a little, an extra wheelbarrow or something like that, just kind of make up for that difference. So I'll lower those guys. Some of the tree selections that we're using, I mean, still had some bark on it, a little bit of moss. If I was stacking out somewhere else, I really wouldn't be too concerned with that. But especially being in this confined space, I'd probably be a little more selective with the type of logs that we use. Make sure they are pretty well bark free and good stuff. But other than that, I think this is a fun project. Let me know what y'all think. Is this totally crazy? We'll see. But glad y'all are here. Oh, one more thing. You can see behind me, if you watched previous video, we put a tarp system up to cover the first round of lumber that we cut on the sawmill. Obviously that did not survive. I don't know if the system was at fault so much as the material itself. I mean, that tarp it's been out here since we've been here, so it's seven years old, and been covering stuff up for years. So I don't know what the solution is, but Kara and I will do some ciphering over the weekend and figure out something to do with that. But appreciate y'all being here with me today. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, tell your mama, tell your friends, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.